everybody, my name's Helen, and today I'm going to do the Taylor Swift book tag. I'm going to do the original 10 questions, and I'm also going to do the 2 questions that Kat from over at Katie-tastic added, and I added one of my own because my favorite song by Taylor Swift wasn't included, so obviously I had to make it work. Question number 1 in this tag is Never Ever Getting Back Together. And the book we're supposed to find for this is a book series that you loved at first, but by the end of it you just couldn't stand and you will never get back together with it. And that series for me is going to be A Night World by L.J. Smith. I read this when I was 13 or 14, loved it at the time, kept waiting for the 10th book to show up so that I could read it, never was able to find it, and now I just don't have the feeling to read it anymore. Number 2 is Red, and for this we're supposed to find a book with red on the cover. The book that I chose for this was Inkheart by Cornelia Funk. This is like a middle grade book, and as you can see it is very, very red. I actually have not read this book or the rest of the series, but I own this one and Inkheart, and I really want to read them, so I'm hoping to get to them soon. Number 3 is The Best Day, and this is a book that makes you feel nostalgic. And for this I actually picked a series. I picked the Pony Pals series, and I can't remember who this is by, but I'll put a picture of the cover of the first book up here. And I read these books for the majority of my elementary school life. I started reading them when I was 6. I don't think I stopped until I was 12 or 13. Any book I could find in this series I had to get my hands on, and I had to read it. I absolutely adored it. I have lots of good memories about this series. Number 4 is Love Story, and for this you're supposed to pick a book with perfect love. And for this, again, I picked a series, and it is the Mediator series by Meg Cabot. I read this entire series when I was 14, and the 2 main characters, Suze and Jessie, are just like the most perfect couple ever. Oh my goodness. If you haven't read the series, please go read it. It's so underrated, and it's so good. Number 5 is I Knew You Were Trouble, and for this we're supposed to pick a character who we knew was bad, but we couldn't help but love them. And for this, I actually picked Lucien from The Coldest Girl in Cold Town. And this character is more of a I hate to love him, love to hate him kind of thing, because he's just a douchebag. I couldn't help but like him as a villain because Holly Black did such a good job of making him a villain, if that makes any sense. I don't know, he's fabulous. Number 6 is Innocent, and for this we're supposed to pick a book that someone ruined the end for. For me, that book was Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. I still have not read this book. I'm going to read it before part 1 comes out in theaters because obvious reasons. But I know everybody who dies in this book, and I'm not happy about it. Number 7 is Everything Has Changed, and for this we're supposed to pick a character who has undergone some extensive character development. And I agree with Kat's answer for this. I have to go with Juliet from the Shadow Me trilogy by Tahereh Mafi. In the beginning, she's just so quiet and timid and actually kind of annoying, and by the end of it, she's just like, I don't care what any of y'all think, I'm gonna go kick some butt. And just the fact that she did go through that much character development was amazing to me, and I loved reading it, and I love Juliet and Warner and Kenji. Oh my god, Kenji. Yes, but that different video. Number 8 is You Belong With Me. For this we're supposed to say the book in a series that we are most anticipating, and I am really, really highly anticipating Winter by Marissa Meyer, which is the finale of the Lunar Chronicles, but I'm also really looking forward to Fairest, which is her kind of in-between book about Queen Lavanna. Anything to do with that series, basically. Just, yes, I need it now. I need it in my hands so I can read it. Number 9 is Forever and Always, and for this we're supposed to say our favorite book couple. And for this I have picked Kath and Levi from Fangirl because Kath and Levi. And number 10 is Come Back, Be Here, and what we're supposed to do is tell you the book that we will never lend out because we would miss it too much. For me, that book is Poison by Chris Wooding, and this is a really random book for me to hold up, but I do have a reason for it, and basically this was my favorite book when I was 13 years old, and it's like a fairy tale, but a really, really dark fairy tale, and I lent it to my best friend, and she kept it this whole time. Like, it's been 6 years since I lent it to her, and I asked her for it back in December of last year, and she told me that she had sold it in a yard sale. So I had to go and buy a new copy off of Amazon. Luckily, this copy was only like $6, but I will never lend this book out again because I had the mighty need to reread it, and knowing that my childhood best friend, who I trusted to no end, had sold it was just... I couldn't deal with it, so this will never be lent out again. Now, those were the 10 original questions. Now for Kat's 2 questions. One of Kat's questions was Teardrops on My Guitar, and this is a book that made you cry. What can I say? Those 3. Just all of the tears. And her second question is Shake It Off, and for this we're supposed to pick a book that we love so much that we will just shake off the haters. And for this, it's going to be Attachments by Rainbow Rowell, and it seems like, again, a kind of strange book. Not many people hate it, but it is a lot of people's least favorite Rainbow Rowell book, and it's my favorite of her books, so I feel the need to defend it. No matter what anybody says about it being their least favorite Rainbow Rowell book, it will always be my favorite. And those were all of Kat's questions, and then I have my question that I added in, and it is Never Grow Up. And for this, I want you to pick a book from your childhood that you will love no matter how old you get. And for me, this is going to be Coranda's Crown by Lee Edward Fody. A lot of people don't know about this book or this author in particular. He's more famous for his Kendra Kendallstar series, but Coranda's Crown will forever be my favorite childhood book next to Harry Potter, and I love it so much. It's so good. If you haven't read it, please try to find it somewhere so that we can talk about it, because not enough people have read this book. And that's it. That is the Taylor Swift book tag. I am going to tag a couple of people. I'm going to tag Miranda from over at Books 101. I'm going to tag Jack from Jack Eats Books. I'm going to tag Whitney from over at Witty Novels. And I'm going to tag Naomi from over at Nay Reads Fiction. That's pretty much it. I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye!